Hello, beautiful people. So I'm so excited for the time that this recording gets to you. The live that we did last week, user error, the recording didn't happen. We had a beautiful group that came together and the recording didn't happen. So we've moved around to get to do this again. So I will be sharing me recording live, but without the group, and going through the presentation and any conversations that have happened. Yeah, there's something in the air that's, I'm going to trust exactly as this happens is exactly how it's meant to. We just tried to do another recording. We got like almost through it and we realized it wasn't recording. So we're going to do it again, and thank you for your patience. And I trust that this magic of threes, the third time around, this will be it. And then moving forward, I don't know, maybe we just have to see each other in person or talk in person to learn more about Reiki. Before we begin, everyone is coming from different places, different spaces, different life. So let's just tune in for a moment. So go ahead and close your eyes, get yourself comfortable. Feet, if you're sitting on the ground, if you want to sit cross-legged, cool. If you want to rest your feet on the ground, whatever feels good for you. Your life, your rules, do your thing. So go ahead and get comfortable, relax. If you want to sit with your back upright and spine, great. If you want to relax into your seat, cool too. Whatever feels good for you and what you need in this moment. So go ahead and just relax, tuning in. Closing your eyes. If closing your eyes doesn't feel good today, just looking down, softly gazing. And with your next breath, go ahead and give yourself a few breaths and permission to relax. Sometimes we can forget that we just need to give ourselves permission to relax and receive the things that we need to receive in this moment. So go ahead and just give yourself a few moments, giving yourself permission to relax. Maybe noticing the breath moving in and out the nose. Not judging it, not changing it, just observing it. Noticing the space under the nostrils as the breath moves in through the nose, the throat, the chest, down into the belly. Noticing it rise back up and out the nose. For this next hour or so that we're together, there's nothing you need to do. There's nowhere you need to be, no one to speak to. This time is simply for you to receive and expand. Breathe. Taking a few cleansing breaths to let go of anything that's happened before this moment, creating the space for what's to come. Let's take a few deep breaths, breathing in on the inhale of 1, 2, 3, 4, holding, opening the mouth and letting it all go. Taking another breath of 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it at the top. Go ahead and take another sip of breath. Hold, open the mouth, let it all go. One more breath, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, holding. Open the mouth, let it all go. Just breathe. Don't change it. Don't control it. Just breathe. Bringing your focus down to the base of the spine, noticing that soft white light glowing at the base of the spine, rotating in the clockwise position. Then allow yourself with each breath, that soft white light at the base of the spine, to allow your roots to begin to grow down, 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 expanding down through the earth, through the floor, through the different levels of soil and gravel. Each breath continuing to allow it to move down, 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 all the way down the earth until it reaches the core of the earth, fully wrapping around. Allowing yourself to receive this love and this nutrients from Mother Earth, rising back up, up, up through the roots, touching the base of the spine, continuing to move up, up, up the channel, perhaps feeling it fill the heart. Continuing to receive this loving energy from Mother Earth, continuing to carry that energy up, 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 allowing it to touch that soft white light, spinning just a few inches above the head, connecting with the universal life force. Allowing with each breath this energy to then move back down the channel, touching that soft white light at the base of the spine, connected to the core of the earth. Allowing that energy to move back up, touching the top of the head, and back down. Moving through the heart space, the bridge of the physical and beyond. Filling this channel, filling your body, filling your heart completely with this bright white light washing through you. Breathe. Keeping that light fully illuminated, the heart open. Bring your focus to the base of the spine, where those roots are down, 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 wrapped around the core of the earth. You're going to allow yourself to begin to uncoil the roots wrapped around the core of the earth, and lovingly, gently bringing them up, up, up. Each breath, bringing them back up, tucking them neatly back into the roots, the base of the spine with that soft white light. Feeling your light body still fully illuminated, bringing your focus to the heart space. Noticing that light in the center of the chest growing brighter with each inhale, expanding out with each exhale. Fully connected with your highest, truest self. Breathe. Beginning to notice your feet, your legs fully supported. Beginning to observe your back, your arms, your chest. Beginning to observe your head fully supported by your shoulders and your body. With each breath, beginning to connect yourself back to the physical body once again. As you're ready, inviting physical movements to the body, and in time, opening your eyes, returning back to the space. And welcome back. So this energy, this connection, this is what we're working with Reiki. So we're just going to put a screen share on. I put together a short presentation that helps us to, let's go back to the beginning, flashbacks, to help to break down the foundation of what Reiki is. I've been blessed to be having so many conversations with people about Reiki recently, whether it's just a general, what is it? Or, hey, I'm interested, I think, in starting to receive it, or wanting to walk the Reiki path. So whatever is leading you to this call today, amazing. I welcome you. You're already on the path and you're receiving right now. So thank you. So this is just an opportunity to give you a high level of what it is, a bit of the history and the principles that we live, because Reiki is more a lifestyle and a sense of who we are and what we share, rather than it being like, I do this sometimes when I just like go step into a session. And so also want to give you an idea of what does it actually mean to be attuned and what trainings look like. And then I'll share with you what we have going on at the Healing Academy. And then there may be a little special for anyone who wants to join the Academy, you know, all that good stuff. So let's dive in. Yeah, so the live Q&A is not going to happen, but I'm going to share the different questions that came up from the live Q&A. And if you have any questions that aren't answered in this, whether it's just in general about Reiki, whether it's about the journey of being attuned to it, or specific questions about working with the Academy, please email me. You can email me at kelly@heartspace.co. I'm happy to talk with anyone who is curious and feeling called to explore Reiki more. So please know that I am available. I always answer as soon as possible, but there are times where, you know, I can't answer you right away, but I will answer you as soon as I can. It's usually pretty quick anyway. So for those who don't know me yet, if you maybe found this training just through the interwebs and we haven't connected through the mailing list of things that I send out or any of my other classes, or we haven't worked like one-on-one or my workshops yet, welcome. Pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to meeting you deeper as we continue to go. But my name is Kelly. I am the founder of Heartspace and the Heartspace Healing Academy. My Reiki journey began 7 years ago when I received a message in a meditation that I was to look up healing modalities. I was a healer. I was a little bugged out because I wasn't fully in tune with understanding the communication I was having with my angels and my guides at the time. Luckily, that's changed over the years. But I listened. I came out of meditation. I grabbed my laptop and I looked up healing modalities. And I came across Reiki and it rippled through my body. And I was like, I don't know what's happening right now, but something strange is occurring. But I decided to let it go for a moment. And then 2 days later, I was working at a Barnes & Noble in Princeton, New Jersey, where I was from and living at the time. And I was playing on Facebook and I came across this guy. We had 2 groups of mutual friends. And I was like, I think we're supposed to be friends. So I friend requested him. And I just like reached out. I was like, hey, I know this is weird, but I feel we're meant to be friends. I'm going to ask you out to be my friend. And he's like, oh my God, I love friends. Yes, let's do it. So we're talking, we're doing the things. We're 2 clowns. So we start clowning around. And he asked me like what I was up to, where I was. And I told him, he says, no way, I'm walking into the Barnes & Noble of Princeton Market Fair right now. And so very first meeting, we were sitting and having tea together. And so it's like, I have to tell you that, you know, something really strange happened to me a couple of days ago. I said, I came across this thing like Reiki. He goes, it's Reiki. And he's like, funny, I'm a Reiki master. And that began my journey. I began to receive sessions from him so I could become more acquainted with the energy first, to receive my own healing and get to see the profound impacts that this has for us and establish that connection with it, which I'm finding is more and more important in those who are feeling called to the journey. Have a few sessions at least first so you understand and you're already working with this energy and you're already on your own personal healing path before going into sharing it for yourself. But that was my first teacher, and I've worked with 2 other teachers in addition to Seth over the last 7 years. And now I'm blessed to be sharing this beautiful gift with others as well. I live in New York City, and I work with people all over the world. We have some different trainings and retreats and so much goodness coming up the second half of 2019 and 2020 that will be coming out to you all more and more soon. So stay tuned for all that, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, I teach Reiki and vibrational medicine as a whole to individuals, to groups. We're starting to have more attention brought to us for like different organizations. And soon we'll be doing kid trainings. So if any of that in particular stands out to you, always feel free to reach out to me. Okay, let's dive in. What is Reiki? Reiki breaks down to two words, okay? Rei, universal life force energy. Ki, energy. Ki, also chi, prana, energy. So what we're doing when we're working with Reiki is we are opening and working with the universal life force energy. Since this is universal life force energy, and the universe is just here to hold us and love us and support us and guide us into our divine potential, when we're working with Reiki, we are being brought back into balance in mind, body, spirit of whatever is going to be most aligned for the highest, greatest good of all. So when we work with Reiki, we open ourselves up to become this channel for the universal life force energy to flow through us, to fill our vessel with this light, move through the heart, extend out the hand, the arms, and then out through the hands. So whatever we put our focus on, when we're in a session, if that's using our hands, if we're using it with our look and our gaze, whatever we're putting our focus on is where the Reiki is going. Because it's all-knowing and so magical and so wonderful, energy knows no bounds. So we can use this anywhere. We can use it across time. We can use it across space. That's what allows us to, if I were to be working with someone right now in California, they'll feel it just like we're together in person. We can also do this for the past. We can do this for the future. This is why it becomes so beneficial when we begin to work with Reiki for ourselves, so we're able to deep dive and we can do more healings on live time, what's happening in our system. But we begin to realize that there's a lot of things that we're responding to right now that's coming from way long ago. And so we're able to then use this beautiful medicine for self-discovery and sending Reiki to the past and healing now. Now, it's not like the butterfly effect where all of a sudden we wake up and it's a completely different life because we went to heal the past. Rather, we're able to begin to notice just our ideologies and the way that we're responding to things in the present is different because we've been able to heal it from the past. The way that we look at things that have occurred, the story has changed, which is huge for our development and for our healing. At the same time, can you tell how fired up I'm getting? I just felt like, whoa, I'm like in it, but that's Reiki. We can also send it to the future. So we can be sending this to loved ones or to ourselves for things that are going to happen. By sending this energy, we can trust that it's flowing and helping a series of events happen in a way that's going to be best for the highest, greatest good of all. And so when we're working with this energy, it allows us to start to relax deeper in to the space of like, everything's happening for us. Everything is happening exactly how it needs to because it's restoring the balance within ourselves on all levels that's aligning us to our highest, greatest good. So I'm not going to go too heavy into the history. This is something that we'll dive into so much more when we're actually, doing the trainings. But I do think it's important and special to be able to have an understanding more of where it's coming from. Like when we can know the roots of something that's coming, it allows us to expand further into it when we're deeply rooted. Kind of thinking like a tree, if the roots are strong in the earth, we're able to expand up higher and reach those higher heights. So Reiki, even though it's just becoming like known, like more like mainstream right now, it comes from the late 1800s. It took us a little bit of time to really catch up to the goodness and magic of all this right now. But we do what we got to do, and then we're here now, and that's all that matters. So we discovered it in the late 1800s by Dr. Makai Usui. And Dr. Usui, he was a very affluent man, very well educated, comes from a good family, and he was a professor at a university. And one of his students asked him one day, how was it that Jesus and the other ascended masters were able to perform miracles with their hands? And he didn't know the answer, but he wanted to know the answer. That's the beauty of questions, right? We ask something, we don't know the answer, all of a sudden we're able to then leave the space for the answer to come to us. Yeah. So he ends up going to the mountain and he meditates for 21 days. He almost gave up on the 21st day, but he didn't. He stuck with it. And on the 21st day, he received this wash of light that came through him, and he received the 4 sacred symbols that we work with. We received 3 sacred symbols in level 2, then we receive our master symbol at the master level. So he receives all of this. He receives this profound knowledge and this healing ability. And he's like, what do I do with this now? So he goes down to town and he begins to work with lepers. He begins to see changes in them, and he's healing these lepers. This leads him to opening a hospital. This leads him to opening a school. One of his students being Dr. Hiyashi. Again, we're just going to nutshell this for you. I don't want to bombard you with this. We're going to get more into the hows and everything and implementing this into your life. But Dr. Hiyashi was Mrs. Takata's teacher, and she's really important in this, especially for those who are more in the Western society, because it's Mrs. Takata that we have to thank for Reiki being here. Mrs. Takata was born in Hawaii to 2 Japanese immigrants. She was married, she had a couple of kids, and eventually her husband passed away, and she was a single mom working, and she was growing ill because she was burning the candle at both ends. So she's overworking, she's getting sick. A series of life events brings her back over to Japan. While she's there, she ends up in the hospital. And so while she's in the hospital, they want to do all these treatments on her, give her all these things, and she doesn't want to do it. So she's hearing what ends up being her angel team saying, like, ask if there's another way. Ask if there's another way. Just ask if there's another way. So finally she does. And they say, well, there is this alternative method that you can go and take. And she said, yes. So she ends up going to a Reiki clinic. She receives Reiki a couple of times a day, every day for about a month or so, and she becomes recovered. So she's like, yep, I need to do this. Dr. Hiyashi becomes her teacher. He follows her back to Hawaii. They open the school, the hospital, and so she's a part of the lineage for most masters that you would work with here. So we'll dive more into lineages and deep dive of the history when we work together in more of the trainings, or when you work with someone else in the trainings. But just a little background of where it is. And Mrs. Takata is MVP in my book. So like I said before, like Reiki it's a lifestyle, right? It's a way of being. And the more that we work with it, the more we receive it, the more that we establish a relationship with it, the more we're able to move into this natural transition of being from that space. And so much of this comes from the principles that we live by. And so if there's nothing else that you take away from today, I'm going to invite you to take away these principles, okay? So just for today, don't worry about anything that happened yesterday or anything other than today. Just today. Focus on today only. And don't worry about tomorrow. We'll get to tomorrow when it gets here. Just for today only, we do not worry. And just for today, we do not anger. Just for today, don't worry about how you showed up yesterday, and don't worry about how you're going to show up tomorrow. Just for today, we show gratitude for everything. And just for today, we make our living honestly. And just for today, we honor all living beings, especially our parents, our teachers, and our elders. Just for today. Don't worry about what happened before. None of that matters anymore. The past can't touch us. It literally can't touch us. The only control that it has over us is what we decide to give it. Don't worry about it. And tomorrow, we'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here. It's not here. Just for today, I do not worry. Just for today, I do not anger. I honor my parents, my teachers, my elders. I make my living honestly, and I show gratitude for everything. Just for today. And then tomorrow when we wake up, just for today, I do not worry. Just for today, I do not anger. I honor my parents, my teachers, my elders. I make my living honestly, and I show gratitude for everything. These are what we live and breathe by. This allows us to continue to carry the essence and the truth of our being and connecting with that universal life force energy. So what does it mean to be attuned, and what is the actual process of that? So when we are attuned, when we go into a Reiki training, what's happening is we are allowing ourselves to open up our energy field to be able to receive this energy of Reiki and for it to move through us. So it becomes more of our field and we're consistently receiving it. And so we're doing these levels of healing and connecting with the universal life force energy on a daily basis. This is allowing for our vibration to elevate, because the universal life force energy is pure unconditional love and light, which is the highest frequency that we can have. And so every day we're opening and we're pouring this in, and we're relieving any imbalances, mind, body, spirit, that's keeping us from our truth of our unconditional love and light. And so in level 1, we learn how to fill our cup. We learn how to connect deeply with ourselves and have that understanding. We learn how to heal things from the past and how to work with it for our future. We learn how to also be able to pass this along to animals and food and plants. What an actual attunement looks like for the student is they're deep into meditation, and then the Reiki teacher, master, is going to open up their field and place the energy of Reiki within their aura and activate their hand chakras, that they're able to activate Reiki and be able to bring it through. In level 2, where we learn these symbols, we then are placing the symbols also in their aura, and the students learn the symbols, and we activate those in their hands so they're able to use them. And so let me actually bring this off screen share for a moment. So to kind of explain more of like the symbols and level 1 versus level 2. Level 1, we're going through and the energy is coming through our body, right? And so we're just opening and we feel and we learn how to like move it through us. And we're moving through this process of ingraining the principles in ourselves. We learn into having to this deep level of trust, this understanding, this ability to be more responsive rather than reactive, and trust this is all happening for us. And so we really find on a foundational level, these shifts begin to occur and we become more aligned with our divinity. In level 2, we now have learned how to bring this energy into us, and like we're filling with it, right? So we're full of this light. We've filled our cup. Our cup is full so we can share it with others. So in level 2, we begin to learn how to fill and then pass it along to those that we're working with. And the symbols are important because they're kind of like the on and off switches that we use, especially when working with others. So if we, like, you can think of it like there's like a beam of light coming, right? We have these different symbols that we can put on, like filters, and then they like project like a different intention or different focus to help in bringing the balance in. And so as we develop in our practice, we're able to pick up from the guidance of the universe, of Reiki, of different symbols that maybe we need to work with in different spaces. And there's different protocol that we use for activating the different symbols, this and that. All things we look at in trainings and ongoing support and mentorship. But the different levels are helping to increase the level of energy coming through as well. So if we were to, if you were to try to plug something in that has a really high voltage in something that can only hold, so say like the voltage was like, I don't really know how voltage, like numbers of voltages, so if this is like completely wrong number wise, don't hold me, let's go conceptually. But if like say like a voltage was like the capacity that it could hold is like 15, and you want to plug something in that's a 30, it would overflow, right? So we work with different voltages of the energy at these different levels, if you will. So we're building our capacity to be able to hold these energies as we're raising our baseline energy. So I just wanted to jump in and like do like FaceTime and say, hey, what's up? And share that a little bit more. So let's go back into the screen. Okay. Hold on. Google Slides. Okay, cool. So also this picture is from a level 2 training with the Academy, where we had 4 amazing students practicing on one another. Such a special moment. This picture is so dear to me. So we also learn how to practice. So we practice on others. We then also learn how to be able to do this cross distance. So we learn what the protocol is and different techniques to practice on another recipient somewhere else around the world. We also learn more in depth of how we can send Reiki to the past and to the future across all the time. There's different techniques we use, there's different symbols and all the things. That's super fun, and it's just a continuous journey. Whether you are just beginning to work with Reiki as a recipient right now, whether you're on your Reiki path or you're going to embark on your Reiki path, know that it's never ending. We're always learning new things. We're always building our practice. We're always evolving as people, right? And so it's never a stop point. And so we receive a lot of information and we receive the practices, and it's just more in the doings and the practicings of it the embodiment of it, the more it comes to understandings and the more our practice evolves, as well as our capabilities with it. And just, again, just trusting we'll never receive something that we're not ready for. We're always brought to exactly where we need to be, doing exactly what we need to do for the development and the evolvement of our highest, greatest good, especially when we're working in Ascended Reiki to it all. Cool. So let's also, before we go into training, one of the questions that came from what I know is a student in the making, but we've been in contact for a couple of different things, a few different times. The question was asked, is Reiki good for alleviating stress and anxiety? Yes. Whether it's receiving a session to alleviate stress and anxiety, or it's another level when we become tuned ourselves. However, receiving a Reiki session is like a massage. Yeah, it's for your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual body. And so we're going through and clearing out the things that we don't need, and like just dropping away from the physical reality and being able to really like get back into the truth of like, oh yeah, pure love and light, all is good. I'm held, I'm supported, I don't need to worry, I don't need to do the things. So it helps us strip that away. And people are noticing the impact that Reiki's having on reducing stress and anxiety levels. There's actually some really fascinating research that's coming out, some hard data that if anyone's interested, I can actually send over to you. But we have to show that it's genuinely impacting our stress levels, reducing them in a significant way. When we begin to become attuned to it and we receive Reiki for ourselves, well, then we start to realize that stress and that anxiety that can become like part of like human nature these days, it just starts to alleviate because we're consistently clearing ourselves of those energies and we're becoming more in harmony. And when we raise our baseline energy, we are just aligning with more positive experiences, more positive mindsets, more positive beings. And life just gets a little bit more fun, a little bit like you're just in the flow more. There's just more ease that comes the more that we're able to be in alignment with our highest selves. So does Reiki help with stress and anxiety? 1,000 and 1,000,000%, because that's a number now. Okay, so what does training actually look like? With the Heart Space Academy, right now we're offering one-day intensives. Okay. Woo! So one-day intensives, we go through the manual. The intensive usually ends up being about like 3 to 4 hours. It depends on the size of the group, depends on the flow of everyone. It depends if like it's a super nice day outside and we're like, okay, we need to go take a field trip outside or do a train. Like the day becomes what it needs to be. But typically it ends up being about 3 to 4 hours, knowing that this is just the activation for this next 21-day process that's going to occur. So during a training, we go through the manual, we get to know one another, we explain the ins and outs, and we go through the actual practices, the techniques that we work with. We then receive the attunement. We decompress, we share, we do the things, get a certificate, and usually there's some goodies involved. And then there's an introduction to the Facebook community. So that way there's ongoing support and mentorship there. And then ways to directly connect with me to continue the mentorship and support on this journey. So I'm going to actually even come off of the screen share for a moment to talk about this, because this is what I'm finding is I think one of the main reasons that I'm feeling called to do this Reiki 101 course. The way that I teach, the way that I share, I'm not saying this is the end all be all. There's so many different ways and different teachers, and there's amazing teachers that I know out there, and that I go for it. Please, what I'm asking, if you're feeling called to learn Reiki, please go to a teacher, one, that you feel in alignment with, that your heart calls to, and also that they are teaching and emphasizing the importance of the 21 days after. The attunement, the day of the training, is just the start. These next 21 days are the attunement journey. This is like a spiritual detox, okay? So we're going through this process of our baseline frequency raising. And so we're going to go through these moments of being at this high, of being like in pure alignment with our highest self, of being able to, whoa, this is true. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is amazing. And there's also going to be the moments where light's being shined on things that where you're holding yourself back, or those moments of like hurt that you're still holding on to, and helping us wave through it. It's best practice that we're not taking in any substance or stimulants during those 21 days. And here's why. Substance and stimulants are affecting our vibration. Everything around us, anything that we consume is affecting our vibration, right? And so when we strip those away, that allows us to be fully with ourselves, with our energy field, so we can allow Reiki to do its thing, and we can connect with ourselves and really explore what's going on. And in those moments where we're feeling that something's coming up and we need to be held, it gives us the opportunity to rely on ourselves and on the energy of Reiki to be able to really hold and move through that. And so we're able to feel it, to heal it, and move on. So that way we can really be higher in ourselves and move in it. These 21 days, you may need to like take more naps. You may feel calls for like different spices and different foods. Like for me, when I do attunements, turmeric is like really important for me. Fun fact, whether you ever do Reiki in your life or not, turmeric's just also really good for opening the third eye and inflammation in the body. Fun fact of like plants. But like these different experiences, because you're getting back in touch with your highest self, with your truest self. And so working with someone who's going to share the importance of that, and so they understand the importance of it if they're showing how important it is for you, is something that you want to look for in a teacher, okay? And make sure that there's going to be that support and that guidance for you, whether that's just friends who've done it before or just loving, support systems, whatever that is. I don't say this like to scare you or like to make it like it's a beautiful journey, and on the other side, it's just this moment of like just understanding what is happening. So those 21 days is a chance to like listen to what is being needed, because you are bringing yourself into balance and more in alignment with mind, body, spirit. And the lights have flashed like 2 times during this. That's like a good sign of like angels and guides being like confirmation. So lights flickering, friends. Okay, so let's go back in. I really just felt called, and I can now see why this took 3 times to do the recording, because this was exactly how it needed to happen. What do you know? Reiki flowing through. Okay, so this is what a training looks like right now. Again, we have some other trainings coming up in other locations, in different spaces. Trainings I do in New York right now. I also do distance. I have a couple of students that I've worked with. We did private sessions across. We do like a Zoom call, like you're going to watch this. And then when we go to do the attunement, we jump off the phones, we do the attunement, and then we hop back on a call. Energy knows no bounds. It's just as powerful, if not even more. So if you live somewhere else but you feel called to work, join the academy, and the distance was the reason, there's no excuse. We can make it happen. So yeah, we have a level 2 happening coming up on Saturday, the 25th, and then we have set up in New York City for June 15th and the 22nd. Because the emphasis of the 21-day, a protocol that I ask my students to honor, and I won't do a level 2 attunement for someone until they've moved through the 21-day process of the level 1, to give them the opportunity to fully integrate the new upgrade that they have received and knowing how to work with the energy before moving on to level 2. So we can always do level 1, and I know we can schedule a level 2 for 21 days after that journey. So we have the trainings coming up June 15th and June 22nd for level 1 and 2. We can do a distance. You can go right onto the Heartspace site if you're like, okay, I'm ready, or again, email me. If you have more questions about it, or you're just like, I'm ready, but I'd rather just book right through you, you can do that. And especially now, also because you guys have been so patient receiving this, I did put together a discount code on the trainings. It's only available to those of you who have signed up for this. You've already taken a step closer and showing interest in the academy, and so I want to honor that, and I see you. So if you book through the site and you sign up for level 1 or 2, You can use the discount code Sunshine, and you're going to get $50 off of the training. You can also email me, and if you, as a result of this, you can just like say like Sunshine, or you can just say, hey, I also noticed that you gave the discount code. So if you feel called, let's do it. I encourage receiving at least one Reiki session. If you never received Reiki before, at least receive at least like one Reiki session before we dive into the journey. But all things that we can talk about. So the live Q&A, that's not going to be live today. But I will share the things that came up. So we had the stress and anxiety. Another question that came up was someone who has received a level 1 attunement, I think it was like a year and a half ago. But he hasn't been in the practice, and he's feeling called to move back to it. But he was asking like, what are ways to move back into it, or like, should he receive another session, things like that. We actually ended up hopping on a call after that as well, so I deep dived into a little bit more. So I have a little bit more insight and a little bit more to give even so now. So if there's anyone who's watching this who has been attuned to Reiki before, but maybe you didn't resonate so much with the teacher, or you just haven't been doing your practice, or the 21-day attunement, whatever it may be, whatever's led you back to this call, but you've already been introduced and you've already been attuned to level 1 or level 1 and 2, but you're not doing your practice. What are things that we're able to do to move forward in that? Okay. One, remembering that sometimes we have to walk away from a practice that means a lot to us or we know helps us, to just remember that the practice is only a couple steps away. So like changing it into like a self-love kind of thing would be like, oh, maybe this is working for me. Like I just needed that reminder of like, oh, it's so simple to go back to this. I just needed to walk away for a moment, just realize I can come right back. Like it's good. Everything's great. So if you have your practice and you feel like you know what to do and move into it, just start again. Maybe do like set for yourself for these next 21 days, I'm going to make the commitment to doing the practice. I also suggest investing in a session, even if it's just like a mini session, or going back to the teacher you worked with. If you've kept, I hope that you've kept like that relationship with them and there is that support and that mentorship. Reaching out and saying, hey, I've been on my practice, like, can we just do another, like, can you do like a quick like tune up and like reactivation? So I'm going to start again. My hope is that they would like as teachers, we take on the responsibility to care for you and to honor that, and also we're holding an energetic container for you through those 21 days, but then also forever. You're a part of our lineage. You're our brothers and our sisters that we've taken on and we're helping guide on the way. So my hope is that would be for you. But if not, finding another master or teacher that is able to support you in helping to clear the system and then to reignite that process. Yeah, and also just the biggest thing is just remembering like any practice that we do, we can always come right back to it. We also had the stress and anxiety. And then another question is just more of the like individual versus group came in an email after actually of what's like best practice and better. And it really is just like tuning into what's best for you. The group is really beautiful because then you're starting this journey at the exact same time with someone. And you can always trust, like if you're brought into a group dynamic of something, exactly who's meant to be there is going to be there, and you'll get to learn why in time, if that makes sense. So having the group part, it can be nice to have someone on the journey with you that time. You're going to be brought into the Heart Space Healers community after your attunement anyway, so you have the group. But it's really just your learning style. If you feel called to have more of a one-on-one, well, then maybe you're meant to do it private. But if you want to do the group and have that access point, well, then the group would be for you. So again, if you have questions beyond this, after watching this, please feel free to reach out. I am here for you. We have the upcoming trainings. It's not too late. I need to know by like Thursday, the 23rd, if you'll be joining us for the level 2, and then the level 1 start again in mid-June. And then we can always do privates. So feel free to reach out and let me know. Sessions are always available as well. I do distance sessions and private sessions in person here in New York for now. And yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time. And again, I thank all of you so much for your patience in me getting this to you. Again, I just trust now seeing what was just created now and in this flow and a lot more face to face. And I can feel into like who's going to be watching this. And I'm really, thank you. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your acceptance of receiving this at the time that it was meant to be received. And I hope that this brought you a lot of value. We're ending at 11:22. That's amazing. Alignment, I love it. Email me if you have questions. Let me know how I can support you. Trust your heart of where you're led on your journey for this. And just go with whomever and whatever feels right for you. Feel free to reach out with questions. I love you. I see you. I honor you. Keep breathing. Remember that space in the heart. Keep this going like we just received. Drink lots of water. I know that this was like a lot more just like information-based coming at you, but there's also been energy working happening all through this, especially with the meditation. So please drink lots of water. Take a few moments to reflect and to just journal out what's coming up for you, any questions you have. And I love you. I thank you for being you. Thank you for listening to your intuition and being on the frequency of receiving this right now. We are only matched with the things and the vibrations that we are matched with at the time. And so you being here means that you are in alignment with yourself and you're raising your vibration in many ways. So I thank you. I see you. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.